Down here, salt is a way of life.
Obviously, the environment down here is all salt. The ceiling's salt, the floor is salt, the walls are salt, and to an extent, the air is salt.
Hi, it's Zabor1975 and welcome to Elite Dangerous on the Legacy version on Xbox. And today I've got some footage of Indica attempting to pirate, and this turns very quickly into a dumpster fire. I normally like to do positive videos, but I recently asked in my community whether piracy or cheating ruined Elite Dangerous, and 92% of my subscribers said that cheating did. Not a surprise, considering I've always been an anti-cheat channel, and I really don't like people who just cheat, especially when it comes to something like this. Avoiding piracy by cheating, it's kind of really weak and lame. I mean, if you're going to cheat over a few tons of cargo, it's rather pathetic. But as we know, FDev say that combat logging is basically dashboarding, or the equivalent of Alt F4 is combat logging. Something you shouldn't do from the point of interdiction all the way through the engagement with the other player, whether that be piracy, PvP combat, whatever. In fact, there isn't a single MMO game out there that really promotes hard crashing your game to avoid defeat in combat, or hard crashing your game to avoid defeat or interaction with other players. Even logging out via the menu during these sort of incidents is heavily frowned upon, and even FDev themselves have said it's technically combat logging in live streams, as we see from this clip.
I could just carry on playing this for a while. No, all right, anyway.
We actually shut the stream down, but we're going to keep playing here, so...
Look, I'm not allowed to because it's technically combat logging. So what I'll do is I'll leave this running and then see if my multi-crew companions can...
Now, poor Indica had a very rough time of it because he had 3 people log on him one after the other when he was attempting to pirate them, and he was only asking for 1 ton. So all 3 of these people logged for 1 ton of cargo. It's not... well, it's cringy and embarrassing, to be honest. This guy's dries have been shot out, and yeah, and then he disappears.
He's gone.
Now, when Indica sent me the clips, I did message each one of them, giving them an opportunity to, say what happened from their point of view. This was the one commander who didn't come back to me. He decided not to. And it's not a surprise because he is well known in the community as being a persistent combat logger. Here he is logging on a power play blockade of imp systems.
He's gone.
Not once, but twice, which is kind of cringe. In the second instance, it's 1 FDL he's up against. And yeah, he still pulls the plug. So he is quite low ranked, but he is also in a vet, so they kind of balance out. And again,
he's gone.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Now, I did manage to get this guy. I actually jumped into a system where I thought he was heading in my Fragaconda, waited, went live, and actually live streamed me killing this guy. People were very confused because I didn't really give him any context on the live stream, but now you can see why I brought my Fragaconda to kill him as quickly as possible before he had a chance to combat log. And yeah, I mean, he could have still combat logged, but luckily for me, I managed to get the job done and kill this logger, and that's a satisfying kill. Always a satisfying moment when you get revenge on a combat logger. Now, I will just take this moment to say, please don't witch hunt or abuse any of these commanders for what they've done. All I would recommend you do is report them to both FDev and Xbox, because it is against terms of service for both FDev in Elite Dangerous and on Xbox. It is actually against terms of service to use an exploit. And hard crashing your game by switching your console off, or menu logging, like dashboarding to menu, is an exploit as defined by FDev, so therefore use of it is against the terms of service of your Xbox Live account. So yeah, we should really start reporting all these people to Xbox on a more regular basis, because as we know, FDev have never been the strongest when it comes to enforcement, and also one of the things with FDev is they've always kept enforcement very private. So even when they have banned people for combat logging, they don't make a big song and dance about it. So the community has always been like, well, does anyone really ever get banned for this? I am aware of a few people that got banned over the years for combat logging. There were quite a lot of temporary bans handed out for it. but it's very difficult to get players to admit that they were banned for doing it, because they don't want to admit to doing it. Because if you admit to being a combat logger, it as well as being cringy and embarrassing, there is a backlash against combat loggers in the community, and when you combat log just to avoid losing 1 ton of cargo, it is embarrassing.
He's gone.
Now, to be fair to this guy, he did say he plays in private group, he doesn't play in open, he plays just in co-op in PvE mode, and he doesn't do PvP. However, I'm a little bit confused by this statement, and you'll see why in a moment. If this were the case, I'd say fair enough, but I'm confused because you didn't realise you logged into open, but then when you came out from combat logging, you relogged into open, and then the person you combat logged on a winky face saying yes, that you're a logger. So I'd be more convinced by his excuse if he didn't return then afterwards back to open and then trash talk. It's a bit like, you know, that one, yeah, I kind of don't believe him. Now this last one is the funniest one. Bless him, he's in a cutter, he's competent, and what he says to me in the comments afterwards is well worth sticking around for. I left this guy to last for a reason, but as you'll see, he gets absolutely devastated very quickly by a tiny little vulture. A small ship versus a large ship, 2 large hard points versus a ship that has what, a huge, 2 large, 4 medium. So yeah, you know, and he's already lost his shields, and yeah. So Indica like could have easily done more damage than he did, but he's trying to pirate. He's not trying to kill. Had he been trying to kill, this guy would probably be dead, because you can see Indica's like weighing it up because this guy's at 52% hull. He's trying to take out his drives, but it is very, very difficult to be delicate. So, you know, it's an awkward situation for a pirate. This is why I don't use plasmatics when pirating, and I use weak weaponry. This is why I prefer to use beam lasers, that you have more control over how much damage you output to the person. But here I think Indica's realised that, again, the ship started floating in a general direction, not taking any damage. That has a suspicious look about it. You know, so he's just now waiting for the inevitable to happen. And it's kind of sad. It's awkward when you get 3 of these on the bounce. It's disheartening as a pirate, waiting for hours to have a bit of fun, roleplay with people, and then none of them want to engage, they just want to cheat. But yeah, here we go. No damage taken, and again,
He's gone.
but I gotta say, I loved his response to combat logging, which was, he doesn't play with griefers, and I was like, well, so you cheated to avoid piracy, look under your codex. PvP piracy is a thing, it's recommended by FDev as a career path. FDev actually give guidance on it in your codex on what to do as a PvP pirate. Unfortunately, some people see that as griefing, which is sad, but yeah, he said he's an elite god, and he does as he please, and called me a noob. Yeah, you're in a large cutter and you got mollywopped by a pirate vulture. I mean, as being an elite god, there's only one response to that.
Puny